Senator Mitch McConnell has long been regarded as a generational force within the Republican Party. Over the years, he utilized procedural tactics and an iron political will to shape the party's trajectory, block key components of former President Barack Obama's agenda, secure major political victories for President Donald Trump's first term, and most notably, deliver a conservative 6-3 Supreme Court majorities. But today, McConnell finds himself on the fringes of the party he once dominated, no longer bound by the constraints of leadership. He has begun to make decisions that go against the Trump-dominated GOP, demonstrating an independent streak that has both intrigued and frustrated his fellow Republicans. The fall from leadership weeks. After relinquishing his leadership post as the new GOP majority took office, McConnell appears to be in the twilight of his storied career. His once iron grip on the party has weakened, and he now operates as a legislator, unmoored from leadership duties. He has openly defied the Trump administration by voting against 3 of its key cabinet nominees, putting him at odds with the majority of Senate Republicans. Among those votes, McConnell opposed Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary, citing the former Fox News host's lack of experience and clear strategy to counter China's increasing aggression toward Taiwan. He stood alone as the only Republican vote against Tulsi Gabbard's nomination for Director of National Intelligence, pointing to her history of alarming lapses in judgment. On Thursday, McConnell, a childhood polio survivor, made headlines again when he cast the lone GOP vote against Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, arguing that Kennedy failed to prove he is the best possible person to lead America's health agency. His willingness to take a stand against Trump's nominees has sent ripples through the Senate, with some viewing his moves as a signal that he is embracing his new role as an independent legislator. He is eager to demonstrate he has an independent streak and some deep convictions that he could not always reveal as a majority leader, said Senator Todd Young, R. Indiana. He's liberated health challenges and a new role. McConnell's recent actions come amid growing concerns about his health. The 82-year-old senator, who has suffered multiple falls in the past year, is now frequently seen using a wheelchair, often isolating himself from colleagues on the Senate floor. Observers have noted that he sometimes sits in a private hallway between votes, a stark contrast from his previous tenure as leader, when he was constantly surrounded by fellow senators seeking his attention. Despite these challenges, McConnell remains committed to shaping policy. Colleagues say he is embracing his new reality, focusing on what he sees as America's vital role in global affairs. There are recognized responsibilities when you are in leadership, and particularly when you are the leader, as he has been for 18 years, said Senator Lisa Murkowski, R. Alaska, who also voted against Hegseth in January. I think you have to give up on the freedom a little bit to act as your own person, because you have a responsibility to speak for your full conference. And I think you are seeing him now as a standalone legislator, and he's happy. Trump's ire and Republican frustration. McConnell's divergence from Trump has not gone unnoticed, least of all by the former president himself. Trump has lashed out at McConnell, expressing frustration and suggesting that the senator is no longer mentally equipped for the job. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago, mentally, in my opinion. He let the Republican Party go to hell, Trump said in an Oval Office interview with CNN. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Trump further belittled McConnell's past leadership, claiming his success was simply due to his position, rather than any inherent skill or political acumen. In a particularly extraordinary moment, Trump even seemed to question whether McConnell had actually suffered from polio, saying, "I have no idea if he had polio." Beyond Trump, some Senate Republicans have also expressed frustration, though they have been less vocal about it. One of the things that disappoints me the most is Thune stood with Mitch for 2 decades and was extremely loyal to him. And when Mitch had a play call, Thune followed it sometimes at his detriment, said Senator Markwayne Mullin, R. Oklahoma. I don't see that favor being returned here. Despite this, McConnell has not blindsided the party's leadership with his decisions. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, R. South Dakota, acknowledged that McConnell had warned him and Senate Whip John Barrasso, R. Wyoming, ahead of time about his votes. Those weren't surprises. Thune said, "He's been clear with us where he is on Trump's policy divide." McConnell's policy disagreements with Trump extend beyond cabinet nominations. One of the most defining differences between the two is their approach to foreign policy. McConnell has consistently advocated for a strong U.S. presence on the global stage, directly opposing Trump's more isolationist stance. During his speech at the Reagan Defense Forum in December, McConnell warned against abandoning the lessons of the Cold War, urging continued U.S. engagement in international affairs. He has repeatedly pushed for robust military support for Ukraine in its fight against Russia and has called for stronger U.S. commitments to Taiwan amid China's growing aggression. These views put him at odds with an increasing portion of the Republican electorate that has embraced Trump's more nationalist policies. Nevertheless, many Senate Republicans still share McConnell's views on foreign policy. Senator Josh Hawley, R. Missouri, noted, "He probably speaks for a lot of people. At least that is my sense. Trade and economic policy disputes." Another key area where McConnell and Trump diverge is trade policy. Trump has championed tariffs and economic protectionism, while McConnell remains a staunch supporter of free trade. In an op-ed published in the Louisville Courier-Journal, McConnell criticized Trump's recently announced tariffs, arguing that they would hurt American workers and businesses. Trade wars with our partners hurt working people most, and the president has better tools to protect American workers without forcing our families and businesses to absorb higher costs. McConnell wrote, "A strange new alliance with Democrats. McConnell's independent streak has drawn praise from, and some unlikely quarters. Democrats who once saw him as an arch nemesis have noted his recent actions with approval." Sen. Tim Kaine, D. Virginia, remarked that McConnell is voting his conscience, and he's not afraid of anybody. However, many Democrats remain skeptical, arguing that McConnell played a crucial role in enabling Trump's rise and protecting him from consequences. They point to his refusal to convict Trump during both of his impeachment trials and his decision to block Obama's Supreme Court nominee in 2016, paving the way for Trump's appointments. "As a Christian, I believe in redemption," former Representative Val Demings, D. Florida, said. But the Senator's critical chance has passed. America could have avoided this madness with a little courage during the first and second impeachments. Principle matters all the time, looking to 2026 and beyond. Though McConnell has yet to announce his retirement, the race to replace him is already taking shape. In Kentucky, potential candidates are scrambling to align themselves with Trump rather than McConnell. Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., made it clear that any candidate seeking his support must publicly oppose McConnell. While McConnell remains a formidable presence in the Senate, his influence over the GOP is waning. As the party continues to evolve under Trump's leadership, McConnell's legacy as a master tactician and power broker may be overshadowed by his current status as a political outlier. Conclusion: McConnell's transformation from the ultimate GOP insider to a lone dissenter, reflects broader shifts within the party. Whether his stand against Trump's policies will be remembered as a final act of principle or a futile resistance against the tide of change remains to be seen.